All right, we're recording on the this. I'm not touching this again. Last time it's not. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unpack Your Bag Podcast, where we unroot these terrible things that happen to us and figure out what we need to do with all the issues that come with the life of being a person in the 21st century. I'm your host, Tony Perks, and I have my guest, Chantel, again, back in this beautiful... I'm not going to say the day. I'm not going to say the day, but it was beautiful. What time is it? 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
5 o'clock. Just got off work.
Yeah, same here. I was not liking work today. Not at all. Question, before we really get into the podcast, how has the situation been with, work superstars?
Work superstars. So check this out. I haven't talked to her.
Oh, really? Oh,
I haven't talked to her.
Moment. Don't talk to the person.
Yo, it's been great. I haven't talked to her. It's been like, maybe like a week almost.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to her.
Like no words at all, or just like no, like it's the minimal conversation.
All right, let me be honest. If I'm being honest, I left a few emails on red, didn't reply to them. If I'm being 100% honest, she may or may not have emailed me, and I may or may not have returned those emails.
Oh, okay. Intentionally. Okay, gotcha.
It's not intentional because I'm busy.
Oh, you hear that? I hear that spiciness in that.
Busy.
Oh my gosh.
I'll get to you when I get to you.
Touche, because your time is so important, and I get it.
But I have not had to have a face-to-face conversation. So God is good. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
God is really good, because when that face-to-face comes, man, it's going to come at the right time. Probably not in this very particular day or two, but maybe on Friday, Oh, God. After everything is over.
No. Friday. I can't really tell you my plans because this podcast be everywhere. But Friday, I'm working from home.
For sure. Oh, congratulations.
From home.
Okay, for sure. That's good.
And
Very
I'm going to go have pancakes.
Nice.
It's already been thought about. So I'm going to work from home.
Hey.
And have pancakes. So
hey, look, there's nothing wrong working at home, okay?
They gave me the
home is
option.
where you reside at, okay? And I reside in a lot of locations.
No, working from home is not where I reside at. Working from home is wherever my telephone will get service.
Well, I mean, I can reside anywhere. I can reside at McDonald's for a day. I can reside at IHOP, because IHOP is down the street.
True facts.
What I'm saying? If you want a good spot, IHOP's right here.
True facts.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear nothing happened with the superstar.
Nope. I'm not going to see her. Good.
Let's just keep it like that for now until you get to the elevated state of, or nothing happens, nothing triggers you.
Yep. Let's pray for that.
I want to be like the untriggerable. Is that even a word?
Untriggerable.
I heard something.
Nothing you say.
I heard some guy talking. He was like, the reason why it's an entrepreneur. He's this Australian guy. And he's like, the reason why you're unhappy with your life and why people upset you is because you have expectations of people and things. And if you took away every expectation that you ever had, then nothing would bother you, because you never put anything on some kind of pedestal to even bother you. Like, if I think that my neighbor is supposed to talk to me a certain way, and he doesn't, my expectation of what I think he should do leaves me for disappointment.
Yes,
right?
Shame on you for having that expectation.
Which I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I mean, I deserve respect. But if I didn't have expectations at all, then nothing would ever bother me.
No, I agree.
So
that's true.
But I have expectations all the time.
Yes,
I do.
Yes, I think it's built into who we are.
It's like, you ain't gonna talk to me this way or look at me this way, or what I mean? Like,
right. But how loaded was your first statement? The reason why your life sucks. And you're always angry, right? Like, this is such a loaded beginning. Like,
it is
to the point where I should be drawn in, right? Like, okay, tell me, teach me, but like, I was instantly turned off. Like, what do you mean the reason why my life sucks? Like, nigga, you don't know me. Who are you to tell me that my life sucks? Why would you say that to me?
I didn't say you. Okay, listen, I said the reason why people are upset. Okay, hey, the truth fits. Okay,
I told you it's a pendulum, and I didn't like that statement. I don't like the way that sounds, nigga. Who is you? What you mean?
I had a conversation.
But I agree with everything that you just said.
Okay, I had a conversation last night because there's a couple particular words I was using to describe a situation. Okay. And one of these words were ignorant. Okay. Okay. Before I know,
one of them words.
I had to learn this. Okay. I had a conversation with somebody, and I was like, I understand what the definition is. And as people, we should understand the definition, right? And what it actually means, not what you think or what you feel, but what the word I say means, not what you take it and manipulate to, right? So I said, like, you know, I'm ignorant to this and this. And I think sometimes you're ignorant to this and this and this. And this person just went all the way up immediately. Trigger immediately. And I'm like, hold on. I'm not saying you're ignorant.
Right.
I'm saying you are ignorant in this subject as well. I'm ignorant in this subject.
Nah.
And then they're like, oh, no, you can't say that. You can't say. I'm like, well, what does the definition mean for ignorant? Lack of knowledge, not knowing and not understanding, like that. So this is actually true. I'm not saying you're ignorant. I'm not calling you an ignorant person. I'm just saying in this context, you are ignorant in the subject or in this scenario, as well as I am ignorant. And at first, I started with me at first to make it not be like such a blow. And then it just went blow. It just blew up. It blew up. It blew up completely.
Yeah, that's one of those words.
I understand.
That's one of those words. It's like shit. It's like calling somebody a bitch, right? Well, I don't know if I can say that.
You could say you didn't call anybody a bitch.
No, I didn't. But it's like using that word, right?
Okay.
It don't matter. That's my bitch. Like some people's gonna hear that word and be like, what? You know what I'm saying? And and it doesn't matter if they meant it in a playful connotation because nowadays females use that word to like girl.
Yeah, because no,
right? Like
even
we
if you're
use
guy,
that word.
If you're a guy, you can call women the B word. If you're gay.
No.
I heard so many gay guys like, what, bitch? And they're like, yeah, bitch. I'm like, wait, hold on. I've heard this in my own experience.
And here's the thing. The amount of people, right? And even if it is in a playful context, the amount of people who can use that word, you know what I mean? And not take it offensively is small. Because if somebody be like, yeah, bitch, you be like,
Like, no, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Now, you ain't gonna call me.
Stop it. I'm not your girlfriend. One. Don't you ever use that word to describe me again.
Which I thought it was so strange.
And friends use it all the time. But like, it's just one of those words. Bring us back to ignorance. Just one of those words. Certain words just have a negative connotation.
Right.
Don't say it. Right. Unless it's like a fighting word.
I understand.
So
but if you remove your bias from it, then no one can actually get you to the point of getting like where they rile you up. If they know like, bitch is that word, I know what to say. It's like, dang, if I can figure out how to not make it personal, then no one's ever going to trigger me, which no one will get me off my stuff.
Agree, right? But that's a level of unpacking for a day and a time when I'm not currently having a conversation with you, right? Yeah, so I'm having a conversation with you and you use the word ignorant. Yes, I should probably remove my bias and unpack the word. Why did it bother you? Dig deep, figure out what happened in your past that promoted such trauma to where you feel some type of way for being told that you don't know something, right? You got to unpack that, right? I cannot unpack that right now with you.
Oh, for sure.
So like, it's still a fighting word. It's, so in the context, it's still a fighting word.
But truthfully speaking, in the context, it's not the incorrect word to use.
Probably not.
Okay, that's it.
Probably not.
That's all I want to hear.
You're probably right.
That's all I want to hear.
You're probably right.
Honestly, I need to be right at one point.
It is classified as a fighting word.
I can.
If somebody called me ignorant, I would probably go up as well.
I get that. But if they call themselves ignorant and then describe the same way you're ignorant.
Or how about the way that you're saying it? You're being ignorant right now.
But I didn't say exactly like that. I'm not saying be ignorant. I was like, I'm ignorant in this situation. Like I have ignorance to this.
What other way could you have said that?
Are you being ignorant in this situation?
No, don't use the word ignorant. What other way could you have said that?
Okay.
What is it that we're missing in this situation?
So
what is it that we don't know?
Are you lacking knowledge in this situation?
Yeah, what is it that we don't know about this situation, right?
Okay.
You just asked the exact same thing, but this time when I said it included both of us. What is it that we do not know about X, Y, and Z? And how can we figure this shit out?
What are we ignorant about in this situation?
Stop using the word ignorant.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm trying to see.
It's the word ignorant.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's not what you're saying. It's not even the tone behind the way you're saying it. It's the word ignorant.
I got you. I understand. It's a trigger. It's a trigger word.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I understand.
It's like spoiled. When people call me spoiled, I feel some type of way.
I understand, but that's not the word's problem. It's the problem that happened with everything around what's.
I don't care whose problem it is. Don't use it around me. Don't call me that. Right?
I get it.
Like ignorant is not my problem. You have a problem with the word ignorant. That's cool. Call it. It don't matter who problem it is. I'm telling you, don't use that word around me.
I get it. I just had to understand because I had this conversation and it went so south. And I was explaining my point. Like I'm not saying it like this, and they couldn't. They just couldn't. Matter. I mean, what I learned in that conversation is this: that the words you choose at the time are just as important as what you're saying. Like absolutely. At this point, I can. My thing was deliver the message that they'll get it. So whether I believe that ignorant was the right word or not is relevant. What I need to do is get my point across.
Right.
So I need to change the word I use. That's what I had to understand with this conversation.
Every important conversation, right? Or uncomfortable conversation, right? That needs to be had should be looked at through a very simple lens, in my opinion.
Okay.
This is just Chantel's opinion.
Okay.
My opinion is, what is the purpose for having this conversation? What do we want to get out of it? What's the outcome?
Got you.
If at the end of this conversation, I need this person to understand whatever, choose your words accordingly and go backwards, right?
Okay.
This is the outcome. This is the end point. I'm going to go backwards.
Got you.
And then...
So start at the end first and then work your way back.
Your questioning strategy is fantastic, right? We talked about that a few podcasts ago, right?
Yeah.
Don't answer a question directly. Follow it up with a clarifying question. Or even this, begin the conversation with the question. How do you think this is going?
Okay. Well, okay, let me add some more context.
Where do you find that we struggle?
Okay, let me add a little more.
Do you think we don't know? Right? Like
okay, but no, this okay, so let me I'll give me a little more context.
Okay.
So I had a friend. We rekindled our friendship like from years ago, right?
Okay.
And we haven't like hung out ever. So we're having I was wanting to have some buddies come over. And so I was inviting him to come over. So, yeah, you want to come over? We're going to have a couple beers, just hang out, shoot the shit, whatever.
Chilling.
And then so he said, this is in text. And he was like, hey, like, do your friends get like ignorant when they drink? Okay. That's what he said.
Friends get ignorant when they... Fair question.
Right? I don't know him that well.
Fair question.
Okay. He also a black person, okay?
Fair question.
Okay, which is right. I thought it was a fair question, and I responded. I was like, no, they're pretty cool. Like we don't get drunk with that anyways. Just have a couple beers, we just hang out. We're all adults,
Right.
And then he's like, okay, cool. I told somebody else about this conversation, and then they were just pissed.
Yeah, your fault.
Pissed. I'm like, yeah, they said this. I'm like, they're like, what? And they're just going.
Who is he to tell me if I'm like, getting ignorant when
blah,
I
blah,
drink?
blah. What do you think? Because they're black, they're ignorant. Because you hang out a bunch of ignorant people.
The person
and blah,
who
blah.
responded that way, when they do drink, do they get turned up?
The person that asked the question?
The person who responded turned up. Like, who is he to ask this question when they drink?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think the person necessarily gets ignorant.
Not ignorant, but do they turn up?
Yeah.
Turn up is a fair word, right?
Yes,
do they turn up when they drink?
Okay.
We got some friends, right? When they drink, they sit in the corner and they go sleepy.
Right.
I could be that on any given day.
Yeah,
we have some friends who, when they drink, they get real giggly.
Yeah,
that could also be me on a given day.
Yeah, it depends.
One thing I don't typically do when I drink is I don't turn up when I drink, because that's not a behavior or a character trait that's already inside of me.
When you say turn up, are you talking about the turn up of like getting rowdy, like yeah, or like getting like angry turn up?
Both.
Okay, I got you. You didn't either. Okay. Okay, got it.
It's twofold to it, right? Like yeah. Or like
okay.
Oh, dude, bro, like
you don't overdo it in either way. You just like,
I don't overdo it either way. No, because that's not in my personality, my demeanor.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You seem more calm, cool, collected, like in control.
So I'm either
of yourself.
gonna get sleepy or get real giggly. I don't know. It's 50-50.
Okay. But mind you, this person that was getting mad about the statement had nothing to do with the conversation. Was nothing to even involve with the scenario. And they're getting mad, and then they're talking shit, and I'm just
feeling
like,
some type of way about the way he knows he comes off when he drinks.
But I'm like, why are you tripping? Like, why are you mad? Like, first of all, the conversation wasn't directed at you at all.
Right.
You weren't even in the friends of this.
Right.
So it wasn't even about you. Number two, it has nothing to do with my judgment of character because he asked a question about who I hang out with. I don't know you, and I don't know. We don't know each other, so I don't think it's a bad question
it's
to
not
ask.
I think it's a fair question, but here's the thing, you made the mistake by telling him.
I know, but the word ignorant is what caused this,
because he said ignorant.
Do your friends get ignorant when they drink?
Oh, and bro is reacting some type of, but here's the thing, at that point it's a different story, because at that point you're just relaying a message, right?
I'm just talking, hey, like, what do you like, like, oh, they're saying this, like, what's this, and then they just turn up. I'm like, well, I think this is kind of valid point to make, because I don't know him that well. He doesn't know my friends at all.
Right.
And we're all saying we're going to be drinking. And I know people that do get drunk and stupid when they drink. And I don't know anybody. I'm about to walk into someone's
maybe
house.
You, depending on what we drinking that night. But you can't tell him that, right?
Right, yeah.
So that's what he's mad about. He mad because he turn up when he drink and he don't want the judgment.
Yeah, but it went back to like, oh, well, like, what did they think? You think you were ignorant, but then because you hang out with black folks, you ignorant, and you have ignorant friends. I'm like, that's not even what this is about.
No, he feels some type of way.
People do get ignorant when they drink because you get stupid.
True facts.
I mean, people, and this is not even a black thing. It's just a people thing.
True facts.
But they were taking it like it was a black thing.
He feels some type of way.
Because this person also,
when he drinks, he turns up.
But this person,
and he don't want no judgment.
But the person also who asked the question is dating a white person, and the person. So I told this person, they know that. So I think it comes from a part of like because you have a white person, you know what I mean? Like,
it's funny how this also shades the conversation a little bit differently.
Okay. So that played a factor into the person's psyche of taking the comment and thinking
stupid. That's stupid.
What is stupid?
That this dude had this whole reaction to a message that was relayed.
That wasn't about that
wasn't about him specifically, and then is able to be tainted or turned by the fact that dude's dating a white girl.
And I was just like, I don't know why you're upset. And they're saying like they're upset for me because they feel like it was attack on my character, which I didn't think it was attack. I thought it was a pretty logical question to ask. If I've never met you, like we just started hanging out, and I'm going with a bunch of your friends, and you're saying you're about to drink, and it's a bunch of dudes. I'm like, what kind of crowd am I about to walk into? I just want to know what kind of crowd I'm going to walk into. Like, what am I walking into to prepare myself?
So let's flip it.
Okay.
I'm trying to say this really nicely.
Okay.
And I want to choose my words carefully. So let's flip it.
Okay.
The flip side of this is maybe bro, meaning the friend who said, do your friends get ignorant when they drink? Mm-hmm. Maybe he is a square. Black dude, he is. Right? Which is cool.
Nerdy square.
We love him. We love him. No shade. I love them all. Whoever you are, be yourself, right?
For sure.
So maybe he's a square white black dude.
Yeah.
Right? And feels more comfortable around people who fit that demeanor.
Okay.
Meaning that, and this is not a race thing. I have to say this. This is not a racing. Okay. So maybe he feels more comfortable with people who fit that demeanor and his experience.
Kind of square.
Yes, square, just chilling. I don't want no problems. I don't need no mess. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he just found a girl who fits that for him.
All right.
White, right?
Okay.
That's cool. And then maybe his assumption, right? Mm-hmm. His assumption could be that they're going to turn up when they drink because that's something that he's experienced before, and maybe not a black or white thing, right? Because everybody gets
Thank you.
White. I've seen some white boys do some shit.
I've seen white people do a lot more crazy stuff than some black dudes. I'm just saying right now.
Talk about it.
And I've been to a lot of different types of parties, mixed white parties and black parties. I've been to both. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot.
So maybe that's his thing, right? And I think what your friend is not understanding is this is not that friend? Yeah, for him this is not a black or a white thing. This is just I like to stay in my lane. I like to be real chill, real laid back. I don't like no mess. I don't like no problems. I don't like no ghetto.
And this is the person who asked the question is like that. They're very proper, very smart, extremely intelligent,
right? Like
very about their money and business. Don't even drink or smoke, nothing like that, you know?
Right.
So, and the person who got offended, I just don't like. It's like you're turning it into a black or white thing, right? And it's not even that. And how many times as people turn stuff into a black or white thing when it may not be?
Especially if the person comes across as a square, right? Or speaks properly, right?
Which he does.
Or spells correctly.
He does.
Or talks like a white girl. Like I've been told that my whole life. You sound like a white girl when you talk.
At first, I hated that, and then I got used to that, and now I hate it again. Because what makes you think that the way I speak, like with vernacular or politeness, is a white thing? Like black people can't be proper or polite.
Not. That's bullshit.
That's why I don't like it, because it makes you deem like the black people then are
exactly
the opposite of that.
That's bullshit.
And I hate that because you make it seem like because I talk this way that other black people that talk different from me are uneducated or stupid.
Yeah. No,
and that's like that's nothing. That's
absolutely
being
not
white.
the case. Yeah. So then that's another issue that we got to look at, right? Because I don't know. I use proper complete sentences. I don't even understand.
I don't even know. I don't know
even understand what that means.
What makes it white sounding white? Like is it a tone of voice? Is it the word you choose? Is it grammar structure? Is it like vocabulary? And no one can ever break that down. But then all of a sudden I'm talking like a white dude, or I'm not really that black. You know what I mean?
I'm the wrong person for this conversation because it's something that I've heard growing up.
Same here.
Being in I took AP classes in high school. So I had a diverse group of friends, if you will, meaning that I could go in the classroom and I'm gonna be friends with whoever gonna help me get this work done, you dig? And it just so happens, right? It just so happens that the niggas who was helping me with the work in the AP classes was white. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a lot of, when there was a black people in the AP class, it was me and Miranda like, all right, girl, let's figure this shit out, because you know I didn't read neither, right? So let's figure out how we gonna do this. But I think it's terrible. Like it's really, really terrible. People don't accuse me of that anymore because I'm older and because I don't hang out with people like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I say people like that has a negative connotation, but I think those
people are probably ignorant. In that situation. See,
you go with that word again.
I know, but you see how it's true.
It's not necessarily ignorant. It's an awareness.
Yeah,
it's an awareness.
That's why I heard that it's awareness.
If you grow up in an environment, right, where the only people that speak proper are white people, that says more about your environment than it does about you. Yeah, and you are not in control of that environment. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So again, I don't think it's an ignorance. I think it's an awareness, right? Where the people that you grow up with talk a certain way, right? Yeah, and then you have the amount of black people that code switch, right? Which is something that I think I've developed as I've gotten older. Which is
code switch.
Code switch.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
So
are you talking about like you can blend in both crowds kind of thing?
Yes. At work, you talk one way.
Oh, okay, for sure.
And when you're not at work, you talk a different way.
All right, got you. Yeah.
Now, actually,
I talk the same way mostly.
I do too.
You know,
I do. I was just thinking, like, you know what? Maybe I do code, but I don't. I be cussing shit at work too.
I think for me, the only difference between
I can though.
The only difference between work and like everyday life is I don't say the N word. That's the only difference. My vocabulary, everything I say is exactly the same.
Shit, I say nigga at work.
N-word is the only thing I don't.
I say nigga at work.
I never.
I say nigga at work.
I will never.
And here's the thing. Okay, so look.
Never.
I have some. No. I have some people at work that I'm real cool with.
Right. Okay.
And for them, I don't give a fuck. Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk the way I speak.
Okay. For
period.
Sure.
And then when I'm talking to kids and stuff like that, I try to cut it out.
Okay, for sure.
And here's the thing: I used to be better at it when I was doing, when I was going to court and things like that. In my undergrad, I was better at it, right? But I just learned it when I started to transition into law school. I realized how I had kind of lost the craft of being able to switch back and forth because I wasn't doing it enough. At a certain point, the way I speak just became the way I talk.
Yeah,
the niggas, the fucks, the hoes, all of this shit. You know, so everything that I was saying hadn't changed to a certain extent, and then I'm in an environment where I'm recalling and I need my vernacular, I need my diction to change, and it didn't. So I would be so typically it's funny because I would raise my hand and law school professor asking me a question, I'll be like, oh, it's because of this and because the man said this, so really it's this, right?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, all right, great. Now say it like a lawyer. And I'll be like,
I was like,
oh, fuck. Right? And then that's all I got. And he's like, yes, you're right. Now say it like a lawyer. And I'm like,
a professional would say in the setting of getting this person off the case.
And then I'm thinking like, fuck.
Hey, but it's really hard to be a lawyer because like choosing your words.
Every word has a purpose.
Crucial.
Yes, every word has a purpose. Lawyers don't just be out there speaking all willy nilly just because.
No,
you
can't. They have a set.
You can't.
Words. There's words that trigger jury. Like there's very certain ways that they use diction and very specific vocabulary. I didn't know that until I watched the video today. I was like, wow.
Bruh.
I was like, wow.
So then me in the classroom.
Well, how you do it?
So contract law is talking about contract disputes. He's like, what is this a contract for? Who was wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who has the, who breached the contract? And I'm like, well, and I tell him, right?
But you just don't tell him.
And let me tell you, not only do I tell him, my answer is correct.
Yeah, for sure.
I told him right. The answer is correct. And he's like, now say it like a lawyer.
You won't sway a jury the way you said it.
And I'm looking at the man like, nigga, didn't I just give you a correct answer?
I mean, it was for sure 100% right. And
it was correct. Yes, now say it like a lawyer. And then I got to go back and I'm like, fuck.
How do I say this in a lawyer? Like, how do I, you got to think, like, how do I say the same answer that's correct 100% and then say it in a way that will sway an audience in a lawyer way?
All of it. All of it.
That is so frustrating.
All of it. So, I was literally stumped and I was like,
oh my gosh.
Fuck. But here's another thing.
Okay.
I don't write like I talk. right?
Okay.
So if he would have told me to write it like a lawyer, I'd have been like, boom, got you.
Right. Honestly, it is easier to write out stuff because I don't know what it is when you were writing it out.
Gotcha.
Because you can revise it and it's like, okay, this better.
I would have went through the whole analysis. I'd have been like formation, then the plaintiff. Right.
I don't know what it is like that because I write better than I talk to. I mean, the thing is, I can talk when I need to, but I just don't like to do it. I just like it comes out when I need to. Only when I can't force it. Like when I'm trying to, it doesn't sound right. But when I'm in a situation like, you better be on your piece. It comes out naturally. Like I just know. Like my body is ingrained to figure out bigger words to say for no reason that I haven't thought about in 10 years. But then when I try, it's like,
but
yeah,
sometimes the bigger word is like the only word you could think of that fits in this sentence, right?
Right.
So I could say like 15 cuss words, end it with a nigga, and then be like, and then use the word dictate, right? And you'd be like,
but it's like, damn, all right. But
dictate is not even that big of a word, right?
Not.
But like you dictated the situation, and they'd be like,
but it's not even it's not a big word.
It's not.
It's just
how many it would have taken me 15 small words
to say that
you dictated it, right?
Yeah, this is true.
I could have been like, but nigga, you did this to yourself.
Yeah,
and you like
you dictated the outcome.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a way different.
You dictated the outcome.
That hits you in a different feel. Then
all
nigga, you did
stuff
to yourself. I'll be like, you said, dude, I'm like, man, shut the hell up. But it's like, you did to the outcome. I'm like, damn, I kind of did though. Shit, I need to revamp my life. Shoot, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? So
it comes out when it wants to. Yeah. I will say that it is a skill that you have to practice.
Yeah,
you have to practice speak in certain ways. You have to. It's something that you have to continue to use. Otherwise, it will go away. And I've learned that
because niggas will start slipping out in every conversation, like nigga, like,
and niggas do.
And it's, but the thing is, I only say niggas around black people. Like it's weird when I get around my black people, I just start saying it normally. But when I'm not, it's like nothing. I think, and the reason why, there's a particular reason why I don't say it. I don't say it because I don't want to have the excuse of someone trying to say, well, you say it all the time. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Got it. You don't want to say it to give other people the permission to do it.
Because technically it's like, I should, so I'm like, I want to, if I'm going to promote, like, I don't want you to say it, I'm not going to say it around you. So you can understand, like, you had never heard me say it for you to even think it's okay to say it. You may have heard it on a podcast with my friend who's black.
Right.
But I've never once said it to you. I've never once said it in your vicinity.
But nigga, don't you ever.
Exactly. And I don't want you to have I don't even want you to have the excuse to try to get away with it and then try to justify it by saying that. Like, oh, I thought, we cool, you said it.
No, we not that cool, bro.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of white people say it. I've had a lot of Mexican people say it. Trust me, I've come very diverse background. It's irritating, but when you hear like kids in skate park calling each other niggas, like random white kids calling each other niggas, they just talk, oh nigga, like, and it's like, and nobody even gives a damn. You're the only one gonna go there and get pissed off. Man, fuck you. Nobody, it's like, do you want to be that guy to be going to start an argument with a 15-year-old kid? Or do you got to suck up your pride and let it go when it's like everyone there don't give a damn? You're the only man that gives a damn anymore. All the black kids don't even care. The black kids like, yeah, nigga. And the white kids like, oh, nigga, yeah. It's like, what the fuck just happened? And this has been years.
And this is why.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this because I have been told I need to stop using the word nigga. And I can see the argument, right? I can see the argument, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to, right? That's my only thing. Like,
you like using it.
I don't want to stop using, just like I don't want to stop cussing, right? I enjoy it, right? I've also thought like, you cuss a lot. You need to stop cussing. Fuck that. I enjoy cussing. I don't.
Me too. I feel like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I'm sorry that I don't think my detriment is me cussing. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Susie Q. Me cussing is not going to be that big of a deal.
I don't know if you're supposed to enjoy it, but I enjoy it.
It makes me. That's the way I talk. It's just the way I talk.
Me too.
Like sometimes a fuck. Like sometimes when I say I give a fuck, that feels better than I care about you. Like when I say I give a fuck about you, sometimes I feel like that is appropriate for me to say rather than I care about you. I just don't. It don't have the same punch. Like it don't mean the same.
I get it.
It don't mean the same. When I say I fuck with you,
I get.
That's like I really fuck with you.
Yeah, same thing. Like I fucks with you.
Yeah, but if I care about you.
Like, or if it's like, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing doesn't sound the same. What the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like that really adds.
And you don't even have to enunciate the whole fuck. You just got to be like, what the fuck?
It's like they already know, like, this
yes,
is stupid
and then
ass
it's
shit.
like, right? As opposed to, you can tell I throw that out a lot. I'd be like,
You are a seasoned veteran in that face.
I throw that out a lot.
Oh my gosh, so, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody will tell me. I mean, and here's the thing: people have told me. I'm grown.
I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I'm sorry if cussing,
we got bigger fish to fry,
if
bro.
Cussing offends you that much, like, because like even in Autumn, like I cuss and I cuss in front of Autumn sometimes. You know, I don't cuss a lot, but I do cuss. You know, but even though the teacher's like, "Oh, Autumn said a bad word," I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal in the grand scheme if she's a better human being. Like,
right?
Like, if she's a good person, knows Christ, delivering y'all from evil spirits, praying for y'all, and you have the nerve to tell me she's not gonna be successful because she cussed. Get the fuck out of my face. We don't have the same problem.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Like, at this point, don't call me to tell me my kid cussed at school. It's not that big of a deal because she chose a word.
Hey, but here's the thing though.
Like, bro.
I'm such a hypocrite. And I'm going to go ahead and admit it right now. I'm such a hypocrite.
Touché.
Because when I'm at work, I don't want the kids talking like that.
Okay, for sure. I'm not telling Autumn to go cussing like that, but
like,
if it comes out, shit.
Granted, teenage boys have a really bad mouth in general. Teenage boys,
you enjoy cussing. I enjoyed it.
So sometimes I just be like, yo. Like, I don't tell them to stop cussing because that's not gonna happen, right? Like, stop cussing. Like, I be saying that shit all day, and I ain't got time for that.
Don't be fucking cussing in here. It's like,
right. So what I do is I be like, hey, calm down with all that, right? Or I give them a limit. Like, you got one more nigga today. That's it.
Yeah, that's better.
You've exceeded your cap because you done said it 50 times in the last 2 minutes. You've exceeded your cap. You got one more nigga today. After that last nigga, you gotta go.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I do understand.
You got one more, and that's it. I'll give him a cap. I'll give him a cap.
I respect the fact that you say I'm a hypocrite with this. Because most people will be like, no, and then try to play both sides. Like, this, I don't care. Like, I don't mind it. Just be honest about it, you know? But yeah, I don't know.
And again, it's a certain time and place, right? Like,
there is.
When granted, I still cuss, but like when I'm at work, I'm not just flying off the handles with niggas. Mostly it's environments that I feel comfortable with that I will continue to cuss and talk the same way.
And you know the people that are around you that you know the level of.
When I'm having a meeting with my principal, I don't be like, look, check this shit out. Like, I don't talk like that, right?
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? Because it's inappropriate. It's a time and a place. So if anything, that's the only thing that I want to instill with them. Like, yeah, if you want to talk like that, that's cool. Be yourself, right? If that's what it is, right? But right here, in study hall,
I know,
my nigga, like,
there's a time and place, and like
it ain't the time or the place, bro.
Like, and what I'll tell the teacher is like, I don't like. It's not that I'm condoning her to cuss. I'm not saying, hey, go cuss and say some bad words. Yeah, don't do that shit.
Go to school and cuss them out.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if it slips up, I'm not gonna trip. Like, I'm sorry that if she's a good human being, I think that's much more of an important quality than if she said fuck.
But what if she says that to like you?
You get your fucking ass beat.
Like, now, what if she says
don't talk to no adults. No, don't talk to any adult and think you can go cuss out an adult and think it's cool.
Okay, so maybe that's the issue that the teacher is trying to bring up. But if she's talking to her friend and
like, you know, Warren, this has never happened. This never happened yet. I'm just thinking like it may happen because I do cuss, and Autumn slipped up a couple times and said a couple bad words. So when we were eating dinner, she was like, "Yeah, Dad, this food is damn good." All right, you know what? Don't say that. You know?
This food is damn good. You didn't even teach her how to cuss right.
The food was bomb though. I'm not gonna. It was. I was like, you are right, Autumn.
The correct phrase is, "This is good as shit." Right? Like,
no, I was like, yeah, good right? As shit. It is a good shit.
This
right
is good as fuck. Right? I mean,
like, but she picks up my stuff because like the other day, like she
you can't even teach her to cuss the correct way. This is damn good.
That's something I would say. Like that? That's what I would say. Michaela's like, what are you talking about? Like, well, who taught you this? I'm like, me. It was me.
Oh man, if you gonna teach the baby how to cuss, do it correctly. Let her have some phrases.
I was talking shit and I was like, I was telling Michaela something, like, wife, and she's like, I was like, some hoe bitch or something like that. And she's like, hoe bitch? And she's like, you mean hoe ass bitch? And I was like, no, hoe bitch. Hoe bitch. And then she's like, no, it's hoe ass bitch. And I'm like, nah, it's hoe.
To your wife.
I'm not hoe bitch. And like,
no, listen to your wife.
She was like, no, nigga,
listen to your wife. No, nigga.
It's not hoe bitch. Like, who taught you how to talk shit? I'm like, nobody, clearly.
Clearly, because they didn't do a good job. They didn't get, like, this food is damn good. Like,
no, but she said it like a deep voice, like, hey, Dad. She's like, hey, Dad. I was like, huh? She's like, this food is damn good. And it started so much. I'm like, I respect it, but don't say that.
This food is dead. Teach the baby how to cuss. Jeez.
Even the time she said the N-word, I put this on another podcast, but I'll keep brief. She was like, you know, when the protests are all happening and the riots are happening, me and Michaela are watching the riots and stuff, and then we're like, it was a bunch of white fools like destroying shit. Like, it was you see no black fools, you seen a gang of white fools and Mexicans destroying shit,
looting and doing all the destroying.
So we're like, where all the niggas at? Like, where all the niggas at? You know, like, this don't make no sense. Like, we're Black Lives Matter, but then these are not niggas doing this
because the niggas
shit.
Was keeping it peaceful,
right? And so Autumn was upstairs at this point, and like 2 minutes pass, and then I just hear Autumn's little poker head because you can't really see up the railing. You can just see like the wall, but then she could poke her head out. She's like, "Hey, Dad, where are the niggas at?" And I'm like, and I just started dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. And I'm like, Autumn, don't say that. Don't say
You're
that.
You're not supposed to laugh.
I'm like, don't say that. I'm like, Autumn, don't say that. I'm like, that's inappropriate. You can't say that yet. Okay,
this
you can't
is probably
say that.
why.
And then I took her outside. I was like, okay, Autumn, say it one more time. She's like, where are the niggas at? I just started laughing. I'm like, okay, for real. Don't say it. Don't say it for real. Don't for real.
Yo, this is why you're probably a good parent. Because like I feel like for me, like I would have like some coined parent phrases, right? Some coined parent phrases, meaning like mind your business and go upstairs, right? Like even though I'd be like I would probably be like you go to bed, right? Go to bed, right?
Typical.
Just a parent phrase, go to bed, right? And then laugh my ass off.
I couldn't help it.
Right?
I stopped. I paused for a second.
Go get your. Don't you got a book? Go get a book.
Go read. Like, you know, like something.
Just a coined parent phrase.
Oh my gosh.
Take your ass to bed. Where did you read the book? Is your room clean?
Yeah, mind your business. Stay in the child's place.
Like it's a couple phrases, right? That you got to be able to pull on.
Nah, I blame.
And it's probably because I work with teenagers, which I watch. Did you read the book? Read the book.
I got nothing else to say. Did you read the book? we didn't have a book to read, Miss Chantel. We never have a book to read.
Read the book.
Oh well, you know, mind your business.
Go get the damn book. Then.
Mind your business. Get out my face.
I'm gonna be like, well, go. And in that moment, I'd be like, well, go get the damn book then. And they
you didn't assign us a book to read. You know what you need to read. Like, it's so funny, but I'm not gonna. I laugh. I couldn't help it. I just started cracking. I mean, I looked at her and I saw her small little smiling face. And I just laughed. I laughed. Not bad parenting, because I mean, at the end of the day, she's black. At the end of the day, she is black.
She is a little black.
I just think it's appropriate time and age when you can start saying that word, because you don't know the history, you don't know what it means behind it, and you don't know the ramifications of how people feel about this word. I don't want you thinking you can say it and give people permission to say it. For sure. You don't understand. So I was like, at the right age, when you're a teenager, like 15, I will leave at discretion of you, but you understand where the word came from, why it's used now, how it's different. Oh, I do have something I want to talk about, which is sidebar for what the conversation we're going to have. I don't think we're going to get there. But so, you know Terry Crews, the actor? Did you hear about this? Okay. So I have a point of view, but I kind of decided
So are we talking about the whole black supremacist comment?
With the word that he tried to rephrase, and
he said
okay okay, so there's two things I want to point out with that situation that I thought was interesting. Okay, though I don't agree, and I don't think I would go that far as he would. He's a very brave soul for putting his life out there and deciding to end his career.
Let's not call it brave. Let's not call it brave.
I mean, brave to be stupid.
It's not brave, and he's not put in a position where he could end his career. If anything, he's put in a position where he's guaranteeing money in his pocket.
Okay, well, a lot of people don't like him like now because, but okay, so
who don't like black people? Studio heads like his ass. That's why he's still employed.
That's true.
So let's not pretend like the things that he's saying could get him fired in any means, because I don't think that they could.
Well, I think it's more the cancel culture nowadays where you get outed by like community. That like, you know, once the community starts talking, you lose all your shit apparently.
So who's behind cancel culture?
I don't know. I don't even understand it. I just don't like it. I don't think that,
because I see black people canceling everybody.
But it's stupid because like why
people and millennials canceling
why cancel
everybody?
Another black person? Let's just have a conversation and then help him change his mind about what's going on. Don't cancel who?
No, like Candace Owens.
I like Candace Owens. Nah,
she canceled. I mean, she's not canceled. She's not canceled. Let me say that. Here's the thing.
I like Candace Owens.
There are certain times when if you don't have nothing to say about the cause, if there's certain things that you don't understand, right? Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
And shut the fuck, and I mean this in my soul. Shut the fuck up until you have clarity. Don't speak until you understand all points of view, because if not, you're a detriment. And you're a detriment. And
especially
all the white
level.
people can point to her and be like, well, nah. All the black people don't feel this way because we got this token nigga that we just pulled up and she said X, Y, and Z. Fuck that. She don't have no clue. And it goes back to, and I'm about to make a slave analogy. She don't have no clue what it's like to be out there in the fields because she's not in the fields. You understand what I'm saying? It's a totally different experience. Black people have different experiences in this country. Okay. She's talking and she's speaking from hers.
Okay, got it.
And you're bringing negative light and negative facts, negative light, not only negative life, negative facts. To a very important conversation about race in America. And there are certain things that you don't understand.
Okay, warranted. I get that.
So shut the fuck up.
Are you talking about?
Until you understand.
Who are you talking
Terry
about?
Crews and Candace Owens.
I like Candace Owens.
Shut up.
I like
Stacey Dash. Shut the fuck up.
Because Stacey Dash. Didn't she say she wasn't black or something?
Herman, I think he just died too.
Oh, I think I like Candace Owens because like the reason that I don't agree with everything she says, but I do like the fact that she looks at everything unbiasedly from being just black. Like she looks at it from being black, but also looks at it from every point of view as well.
Let me tell you why that's detrimental.
Okay.
Because every point of view that you could look at this at isn't being murdered. If you look at this unbiasedly from a white man's perspective, that's cool, but a white man's life is not at risk.
That is very true.
If you look at this unbiasedly from a white woman's perspective, that's cool, but white women are not at risk.
That's true. That is.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And I get that, and that's why I say I don't agree with everything she says, because there's some things where it's like she takes the fact that there's racism that exists in America out of it, and then decides to put the fact.
No, you can't take it out of that.
But that's the thing.
You cannot remove the major piece of what we're talking about out of the equation. We're talking about racism. You cannot remove racism in America out of the question. You cannot. You can't remove that out of the picture. I
agree.
We have so many people speaking from a white man's perspective. We got white men speaking. We got white women speaking. We got so many people speaking about things that they don't know shit about. Do you know who you need to hear from?
Black folks.
That's who you need to hear from, right? And then the ones you are hearing from are fucking buffoons like Candace Owens and Terry Crews. You hear from buffooneries.
I don't think they're buffoons. Because
maybe buffoons is a harsh word.
That's really harsh.
That's a harsh word.
Because you make that's like you have no intellect at all if you're a buffoon.
You don't have any intellect about what the black people in this country experience.
I think that she comes from her perspective. You remember how we had this conversation about we all have a different experience in the black world, you know?
Yes. Then don't make sweeping accusations. Here's the thing. If we have different experiences, right, then recognize that everybody has different experiences, right? And shed your experience before you start talking about it. Acknowledge that in the conversation.
Like, this is my take on what I felt.
And another thing that you said is that you said it spot on. They remove the history of racism in America from their speaking points, and you can't do that.
Yeah, because it's a part of history. It's a part of what we go through, and it's part of everyday life.
It's the book. Let me tell you this. It is the book of what we experience in this country. The 400 years of slavery and Jim Crow segregation is the book of the lens that we need to look at racism through. Because contemporary racism needs to be looked through those eyes. Do you want to know why? Because you cannot separate the two. The reason why we're in this situation now is because of the history of racism in this country. You cannot separate the two.
That's true. 100%. I agree. 100% I agree. And I think that the conversation I don't think that we should attack.
Oh, I just got mad.
Hold on. I know. Which I like it. I like it. I don't want you to get mad. I just want you to. It's passionate. You're passionate. But I think I just think like I don't think they're like okay. This point I was making with the Terry Crews thing. We'll go back to Candace Owens. I think with Terry Crews, what is the difference when Terry Crews tries to change the word coon, right? That was his goal, right? His goal, I think his goal was to try to change the narrative of coon, right? What's the difference of black people saying nigga? Where's the difference at when we decide to take a word of oppression and turn it into something that we can use, but then another black man tries to do it with another word that's very stigmatized and labeled pretty much just for black people. But then he gets ridiculed out of his black culture, essentially, because he tried to make and change a term to make it somewhat more of an endearment or more of a not so detrimental. What is like the difference? Because like the part of me is like, when I first heard it, I was like, I understand mentally where he wants to go, but I don't think I would use that. I don't think I would use that or try that yet. It's too sensitive of a time to try to liberate another word. I think right now there's so much tension. Like, we don't need another word. We need shit to change first. And then you can start to maybe later on decide to change another word to endearment. But what is the difference between making coon like a word of endearment, how we say my nigga? What is the difference between those two?
When did he say this?
It was maybe like a week and a half ago. I just heard about it and I listened to what he said a little bit. I don't got the full scoop. I just kind of, what I pieced together from it and what I feel about it.
Okay, so let me say.
But it was acronym. It was like Kun was like conquering over like oppressed negativity or something like, it was something like that. I don't know if those exact words, but something like coming over our own negative thoughts or something. I don't know.
So let me say this. That personally, I don't know much about it because again, I've been on a social media cleanse, and he usually has his bright ideas on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I don't really do Twitter like that.
I
just heard through a little,
but he usually has his bright ideas on Twitter.
I don't get Twitter,
and I don't follow him on any social media, and I've been doing a cleanse, so it hasn't been on my phone. I don't want to see no shit. So
understandable. It's like
I don't have any thoughts on that other than I think that it's a publicity stunt. That's my only thought on that.
Okay.
My anger at Terry Crews came from the way that he spoke. He made a statement contradicting a statement that Gabrielle Union made about hostile environments in AGT, America's Got Talent, when she was a judge on America's Got Talent. Okay. So my anger at Terry Crews came from that, right? The shut the fuck up.
Okay.
If you don't know, just
gotcha.
shut up. Okay. That's where that came from.
I don't know what happened with that, but
it also stems from his comments on black supremacy, which is foolishness. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
Do you believe in black privilege?
Black privilege? I think that everybody has privileges.
Yeah, amen.
I do think that everybody has privileges. We had this conversation on the first podcast. Yeah. I think everybody has privileges, right?
100%.
Privilege of anybody in a dominant class has a privilege.
And I think that even black people are privileged. Being
able-bodied, right? Having an able body is a privilege, right?
Yeah.
Having a mind that works well.
Do you think there's any black particular privilege? Because I think when I hear that word, for me, like the
black privilege,
I think of.
I'd have to think about it.
Because I know Charlemagne, he wrote a book, and I read his book. This is like 2 years ago, maybe. But I think when I think of black privilege, I think of that, like the spirit of overcoming any shit that comes my way. Like
for sure,
it's undeniable strength under the most oppressive odds.
I agree with that.
And so I think there's a huge privilege in being black, because I've been endowed with so much trauma that I'm so much stronger than the average person. Not only physically, but mentally.
I agree with that.
We have genetic tracing and stuff like that. So I think the privilege that black people have that I think we need to identify more of is like the fact that we've overcome so much shit when we've almost been killed, been murdered, whole families, children, locked up, imprisoned, put drugs in the community, tested on, and yet
all of it.
You cannot end us. It's impossible.
We still out here.
So I think like I don't want to always promote like the whole racist stuff.
Yes.
Because I think
setting
that there's
trends, influencing culture. We're still here.
Because I think at the end of the day, like we can always focus on what white people did and what happened, and we need to address the stuff that happened to us in our history, but also like let's focus on the things that we excel in and the things that we're good at more than the negative shit that like. Yeah. We got so much from that anyways. We were so much stronger because of all the shit we had to go through. Yeah. So we always focus on like, oh, white people did this and they did this to our ancestors, which I understand, and like I hate the fact that it happened. But at the same time, it's like if I only focus on that, I'm gonna stay angry my whole life.
Agreed.
Like I gotta focus on how is my family better than, instead of like focus on what they did, let's focus on how we're gonna overcome the next shit.
I think so. Here's the thing. I agree with you. I agree with most of what you just said. But we can't move on because it's still happening.
In that part. That part.
I agree with you. We need to focus on some positive shit. We got to figure out how we're going to live. We got to figure out how we're going to survive. We got to figure out how we're going to thrive. And for the most part, I think that Black people have done an excellent job at surviving. For sure. And finding pockets and finding ways to thrive. Right. We have done an excellent job of that. Right. That's why I agree with what you just said. We better. Right. Because of the trauma, because of the experience that we had to go through. We're stronger because of it. Right. You got a bunch of super niggas walking around here. Right. Because they made it. Right. Like, think about how many people didn't make the journey from West Africa over here. Right. Now, don't think about how many lineages got killed off in slavery completely. Right.
You know, and this is all people from learning a different culture. A different language, so think about coming to not knowing any of your family anymore.
So when you think about the people and the lineages that did not make it, the ones that are here is the best of the best, right? Super niggas. Okay. So I digress. That's a funny term. But right, even with us, back in the day. even with us being super niggas, right? We're not bulletproof.
For sure. We still got stuff we had to go through in trauma.
Dealing with it, and
I understand that
we're still dealing with it. It's still ever present.
And then that's why I say we need to unpack the truth. Like, we really need to actually get and uproot a lot of stuff and like have the conversation for real. Like, this shit really did happen. Yes. Like, it's not like it wasn't that long ago. No, it wasn't hundreds of years ago. No, I mean, we are low key all enslaved.
It's like within our parents' lifetime.
Yeah, like it's like my mom. Yeah. She's 70. Yeah, she used to see people with KKK pickets and going down the street, like with their mask on, like, you know, like, so it's like it wasn't that long ago. It was not. And I don't want to. I'm not trying to say this to take away from the fact that, like, diminish anything that we went through. It's not my point. I think my point is just we need to unpack it and get it out and start having the discussions, like, what the fuck really happened to us and why the fuck this is so detrimental, and this is why we like resolved some things in certain ways, and then once we can get it up out and unpack the bag, then we can start figuring out what to do with the pieces now. Okay, now we see this came from here. This came from here. This came from you guys. You guys are the one who taught us this. Y'all say we ignorant this. Y'all taught us this shit.
Think about how long it takes to unpack a bag of 400 years. And we're doing, and here's the thing, man, even with everything that we just said, we're doing a hell of a job, bruh.
Yes.
We're doing a hell of a job. Amazing job. Like, shout out to Black people, seriously, because we are doing a hell of a job. Yeah. The way that, especially our men, man, the way who to really, because the attack that's happening really is on our men, right? Yeah, Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland, right? We have some women mixed up in here too, right? We don't ever want to forget their story, right? But it's our men that have a target on their back, right? And they're still getting up, they're still functional, they're still going out providing for their families. You understand what I'm saying? They're still out here protecting Black women, protecting their families, protecting their communities, because they understand the importance of it. But the media will have you believe that it's not true, like, or that it's not happening.
Every Black man is ghetto or doesn't have education or
not raising their children.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, what
not working?
Yo, and it's like, no, and man, that's the problem. Media paints things a certain way, and it makes everybody think that it's true when it's not.
And you need to learn that there are real life Black men out here holding it down, man.
And the majority of Black people I see and know hold it down. It's not
holding it down.
The people that they're showing the media is not even true to what represented in my real life.
That's bullshit. And the reason why they show you that shit on the media is because they want you to believe. Yeah, right.
They want you to believe that a Black man acts a certain way to keep you.
If they can show you the ways that some people in a community demean and devalue their life, if they show you that enough, you will start to think that your life is less valuable.
And that people think that their lives are more important than yours.
Exactly. It's not true. It's not true. If I can feed you the story, and if I can feed you the history that you ain't shit, if I could feed you the history that you are less than, if I could feed you the history that you are inferior, sooner or later you will believe it.
It's mass manipulation.
Sooner or later you will believe it. So don't let the media fool you in that. There are Black families, there are Black men holding it down, there are Black women who are supportive, you know what I mean, who will love the shit out of a Black man, who are not, you know what I'm saying, who not gonna be loud and ghetto and going up with you, like, and change your mind about the way you view yourself. And the way if you change your mind about the way you view yourself, you will change your mind about the way you view others, especially others in your community. The way that I look at myself as a Black woman is how I know that Black black women are godly because I'm godly.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
And it's the same thing with black men because they look at themselves and they see God in themselves. I see the God in that brother too.
That you hit that was it. That was it. That was it. That was it.
It's true.
That was it.
It's true.
Like, I agree with everything you said. Everything. And the one thing but one thing to go back to the media point really quick too, because I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, yeah, like black men always just want to leave for a white girl, and I remember this was a Kanye West line.
When he get on, he asks for a white girl.
Okay, but then I hear there's many black women, and not all. Not many. I would say there's some black women that I've heard that think like all these black men are just chasing after and marrying white women, right?
That's not true.
But then I was like, where are you getting your facts from? I asked them, like,
Instagram.
And they're like, well, I'm telling you. I'm like, and I looked up statistics right now. I was like, dude, 80% of black men marry black women. So I don't know where you think that all these black men are deciding to think they're going to, like, Instagram. You are completely wrong.
Instagram.
Like, so you're getting mad.
Get the fuck off social media, y'all. I'm telling you, if you would get off social media,
not real facts. They're not even true. Like, you heard a statement and you heard someone say this and you seen a couple clips on the TV, which, and then you decided to run with it. So I'm like, but I'm glad I had the conversation because it decided to open up, like, damn, like that mass manipulation shit is so real. And it goes on so many levels, just like looking how black people look and think, but then it's like, damn, like that whole thinking like black men just gonna leave you out for white girl, it's not even fucking true.
It's not,
because majority of the men all the men I know are married to black women, and then on top of it, the statistics show that black men marry more black women than anything. So I just like, before you believe the hype of a song, do your facts first. Check your facts and make sure, because that's another way to divide us again. That was a classic tool to divide black men from black women. For sure. And then you play in the part. For sure.
And they did it during slavery times too. Like, this is just a part of the plan, man. Yeah. They got to tear us apart. But here's the thing, y'all. I mean this when I say this. Get off of social media every now and then. It's okay. It's okay. Get off of social media every now and then, because I really think that social media is designed to amplify foolishness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if that's all, it don't matter who your friends are, don't matter how willing you are to block people, there's going to be a certain amount of foolishness on there, and it's going to fuck with your mind. It's going to fuck with the way that you see things. And every now and then you got to turn that shit off, and you got to recalibrate. Yeah. Cuz it's important.
And that's what I think is, if you're aware, it's easier to change. It's easier to look at it objectively when you're aware of what's going on. But when you're not, and you're emotional and you feel it, and then you hear and you're like, yeah, what the, and then you look over and you see another nigga like with a picture of the white girl, then you like mad, and it's like instilling the thought that you have that's not even true.
Exactly.
And then they're playing you against your own people again, and it's like, instead of hating us again, let's not do this anymore. Let's not keep trying to we're trying to hate each other, and let's just love each other. Quit trying to judge each other for what it is. Like, it don't matter. Even if a black guy did like a white girl, who gives a damn at this point? It don't matter. You find another. There's plenty of black men that love you. There's plenty of black men. Promise you.
And I never even saw white women being attracted to black men as like a negative thing, because I also think black men are godly. Why would I expect a white woman not to see that?
Thank you.
Why would you expect a white woman not to see that?
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Black men are fine. They got swag. They get them beards right. Like, it's something real magical about a black man. Okay.
I feel that.
Why would you expect a different waisted female not to see that?
Yeah, and then try to use everything they can to
your God being amplified. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in there, bro. They gonna see it, right? So as a woman, you should be like, yeah, I see why they want you.
And that's what I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna take you. You know what I'm saying? But
I see why they want you. I want you too. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. So let's not. We gotta recalibrate, y'all. Recalibrate.
You know,
recalibrate.
We're gonna end it on that note, because I think that was a good way to end the podcast. This is honestly, we didn't even hit any of the points we were supposed to discuss.
Nah, but next week, y'all,
we're gonna have the topic. But this was way better. I'm getting goosebumps. Literally, I'm getting goosebumps from this whole conversation.
I can't even see them.
Okay, you need some glasses.
They not real goosebumps.
They are real.
Full of shit. I'm just
honest on everything I love.
I just wanted to end
I'm
the
not
podcast.
gonna say I'm God. I ain't gonna say I'm God.
I just wanted to end it with a cuss word. Full of shit.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in on this podcast. I hope you guys got something from it. And if you please share your comments, please share your insight, especially if you're black. Please share your perspective on what you got out of this, and where everybody else can improve, and how the media keeps training us to think and hate each other. Okay,
talk to us,
please. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace, love, and hair grease. Talk to you soon on Unpack Your Bag Podcast.
Boom, bitch. I'm just playing. You would in this shit. Come on, Chantel.